Hey everyone, I'm going to give everyone a few minutes to get started, so we'll probably start a few minutes after 6 once everyone is joined. Hi everyone, thanks for joining. I want to let another few folks join, so we'll start in a few minutes. Thanks for being here today. So we will get started in 2 minutes. In 2 minutes, we will get started, everyone. All right, everyone. I am Mr. Lovelady, and I am the college counselor at Morris Jeff. I'm also the 12th grade advisor, so we will spend plenty of time together next year. I'm excited to work with you rising seniors. I guess many of you have waited, 16 or 17 years for this year, so I'm excited and honored to be the person who will walk you through the next 12 months. So here is an agenda for what we will cover at our rising senior meeting. The first thing we're going to hop into is an overview of what the senior year really looks like. And I encourage you throughout the presentation, you're welcome to take screenshots or photos, but we will also email out this presentation tomorrow, and we are also recording it. So there will be a copy of this presentation sent to you. These are the key dates beginning with August and ending with May of 2022. Some of these dates are available on the school's calendar, which you can access on our school website, but these are the events that specifically I will be helping with, and events that are specific to the senior class. The senior ring ceremony will happen in August. The senior prom will happen April 23rd. Decision day is when students announce their college and career plans, and that will happen May 2nd. Senior exams for the high school will be May 16th through 20th. IB diploma program exams will be the 3rd through the 18th, and Miss Mack is on the call tonight, so she will be able to provide some more information for those families. And our senior baccalaureate event, which is a senior awards ceremony, is on May 27th. And graduation rehearsal is the following Monday, and then graduation will be Tuesday, May 31st, 2022. If you or any of your family members are interested in serving on a steering committee, we will absolutely need help throughout the next year. So please do not hesitate to shoot me an email, and I provided my email address later in the presentation. Your senior budget, which we will announce in July or August, I wanted to list a few things that you will be paying for, such as the senior ring ceremony, the senior shirt, prom, Senior Fest. Senior Fest is the event that we had this year in lieu of a prom, and our school gave us really good feedback. The seniors absolutely enjoyed it. So next year we can make the decision about having both prom and Senior Fest, or just one or the other. And that's a decision we can all make together. You can do a monthly payment plan, and the amount is to be determined. We're going to work on that this summer. And again, I'm going to provide some information on our first event, which will be the senior ring ceremony. And we're going to give you, vendors to use, but you can absolutely use whoever you want to get your senior ring. And if you want to do a bracelet or a necklace, we absolutely recognize that as well, if you'd rather do a bracelet or a necklace for senior ring ceremony. Next year, many of you will get to know Melanie Every, and she works at the lower school campus. She's our accounting manager, and she will be the one to help families navigate the senior dues, My School Bucks, which is the portal you use to pay senior dues, and she will be a great resource for you next year. Senior photos. So we do use JWP photos for all of our school photographs, and we have set some time aside this summer for Morris Jeff Rising Seniors to get over to his studio and have your photos made. Those dates are July 24th to August 7th. His studio is over in Gretna, and it is $25 just for the session. And we do require a cap and gown photo because we will use that for the yearbook, and we will also use that for other communications during your senior year. You can call, email, or go straight to the website, but JWP Studios, you will see them plenty next year, and that is who we use for our senior photos. Senior ring, like I said, you may buy it anywhere. We do have a partnership with Justin's. Todd Owens out in Metairie is our school's Justin's rep. So in addition to the senior ring, the other things we get from them are our cap and gowns and many, many other things we'll use at the end of the year. But like I said, you do not have to use Justin's, but you are more than welcome to use them. You can just go to their website, search for Morris Jeff Community School, and you can buy the ring through Justin's online. Graduation requirements for seniors, these have not changed. I just wanted to remind families of a few things. So other than the core academics, 2 foreign language credits, 1.5 physical education, half a credit of health, 1 arts elective, 3 general electives. Now that you're graduating high school in Louisiana, the FAFSA, which is the free application for federal student aid, That is actually required to graduate from high school in Louisiana. You also must be in good standing with our school, and that is regards to behavior, attendance, and any debt that you may owe the school. If you have any specific questions about graduation requirements, please do not hesitate to contact Ms. Evans. I share an office. I'm very close, and I share an office with Ms. Evans, a desk very close to hers. So we work very closely throughout the year to make sure students are on track to graduate. Your post-secondary options, these are the options that students have after high school. And I want to name a few of them for you. For students who are interested in going to a 4-year college or a 2-year college, I will be your contact as your college counselor to help you navigate the entire college application process. For those of you who are interested in career and technical education and or entering the workforce directly, I will also be a resource for you. This also includes students who are interested in joining the military and students who are interested in taking a gap year. I will also be your counselor and help you with those plans. If you are a student who is interested in just spending 12 months after you graduate, focusing on some soft skills, building up a resume, getting your foot into the workforce, you might be interested in Youth Force NOLA's launch program, and Ms. Evans, our academic counselor, can help you navigate that process if you're interested in joining launch. And then those of you who have been working with Ms. Morrison, she does manage our transition services as you transition into life after high school. College planning, I want to kind of go over some broad dates before we talk details. So August 1 is when college applications open. That's when a college application on our website goes live. Your college decision day is May 2nd, 2022. So you want to think of the month of August through the month of April as kind of the bookends to you and your college planning and your college application process. So that will begin very quickly this summer, but specifically on August 1. All of you have been invited to a website called SCORE through your Morris Jeff email. If you have not, please reach out to me and I can help you get set up with SCORE. And SCORE is a college planning website where you can search for colleges. It helps you give me information so that I can help recommend colleges to you, and I can actually recommend colleges directly through SCORE. SCORE allows us to include parents, if you are parents or guardians, if you are interested in also having an account with SCORE, because you can also help with the college search process. So again, email me, and I'm going to provide my email later in the presentation if you are interested in SCORE or if you have not gotten an email about SCORE. There are really 3 types of deadlines that students who are applying to college should consider. The first one is regular decision. The second one is early action. And the third one is early decision. Early decision is the only legally binding application, meaning that if you apply to a college, early decision, let's say, for example, if I want to go to University of Chicago, early decision, that is a legally binding application, meaning that if I'm admitted to that school, I have to attend. The benefit of early action is that it is non-binding. So if I really want to go to University of Chicago and I apply early action, I'm just applying early. Simply, I'm not actually, there's no legal bind. So I do not have to attend that school if I get in. Regular decision is the most common, and regular decision is when you apply before February of your senior year, and you go through a regular rolling admission timeline. Applying to college, I'm going to go over these 9 points, but know that usually when you apply to college, it's a combination of these 9 things, not just one independent factor. Your scholastic record, this is your GPA and the coursework you've taken, whether it be regular general coursework, honors courses, or IB courses. And you are going to, when you apply to college in the fall, your school will submit a transcript for you when you initially apply to college. Many colleges will ask for a mid-year report, and that means they're asking for your first semester grades. Those are usually required in January. And then when you graduate, your college or university will ask for a final transcript. So regardless of where you are in your senior year, your grades are going to be reported through the regular initial transcript, through the mid-year report, or through the final transcript. And our school and colleges and universities have a system in place where we take care of that for you. Your scores on standardized tests, if they are required by the institution you are applying to, they can be important. I'm going to have a slide later on where we go over standardized testing, and I'm going to go over some important dates for you and your family as well. There's a wave happening in the U.S. where schools are not requiring standardized tests. Part of that is because of the availability of testing dates. The other is because of a philosophical and a shift in thinking in which people no longer think that a standardized test is the best way to evaluate a student. So there's many different perspectives that exist. Your official school recommendation will come from a form that I complete, obviously with the help of the teachers that have been working with you over the past 4 years, and the counselors and other school leaders. You will need teacher recommendations, and I'm going to give you some advice later in this presentation on how to get those teacher recommendations. And your special talents like arts and sports and leadership and civic engagement, all of those things will play an important role when you apply to college, whether it be in a resume that you create or whether it just be you listing these things as activities on a college application. Your records as a citizen, again, your civic engagement, what you've done either in our community at Morris Jeff or in the global community or in our New Orleans community, all those things are going to be important when you apply to college. Your overall standing compared to that of others. So we do not rank students based on GPA at our school at Morris Jeff. So really, when we're thinking about overall standing compared to that of others, we're thinking of the type of coursework you took compared to others. Did you take courses in an industry that you're interested in pursuing? Did you take any IB courses? Did you challenge yourself in any way? I just saw a chat and I want to get to it. And can you type something? Because I'm going to click the chat from my phone if you don't mind. Just anyone. Thank you, Miss Mack. Is there a transcript request fee? So we do not have a transcript request fee, Mr. Mitchell. That's a wonderful question. Students simply email me and they can do as many requests as they need to. What we're seeing right now is a lot of schools are accepting transcripts digitally through email or through Parchment or Navient, some source like that, but we are still, of course, printing transcripts and sealing them for students who need that. But students just need to email me for a transcript. Great question. So your level of demonstrated interest, point number 8 at the bottom, some ways that you can demonstrate interest in a college. You can visit their campus. You can email an admission officer. You can attend an admission event. You can attend a camp at their school. You can simply, interact with their social media in a very positive way with their school. So there are lots of ways for you to demonstrate interest in a school. And when you demonstrate interest in a school, you're just letting the school know that that you are interested in potentially being a student at their school. We're seeing more and more interviews with colleges. Some of them are informal, some of them are more formal. Some of them might just be you meeting with an alumni at a local coffee shop. But we're finding that the notes that alumni that people take from these interviews are really important when colleges make decisions. I think I just saw another question.
Mr. Lovelady, a parent is asking, how do we answer questions about class ranking in college searches if overall standing is not reported?
Perfect. Thank you so much. So most colleges, all the colleges that I know of, will actually ask you if your school ranks first. That'll be the first question before they ask about your rank. Another thing is that when we have, there's a local university, for example, whenever they require a rank for a particular scholarship that they have, we have an internal process for letting them know the student's GPA in context with others, but we do not rank students. So we have some internal processes as to how to navigate that. But the most important thing to know is that when students apply to college, most of our students apply using the Common Application. And one of the first questions on the Common Application is, does your school rank? And it does not count against the student when we say that the school does not rank. That's a great question. How to apply to college. You can apply to college directly through the school's website, which an example would be tulane.edu, uno.edu, delgado.edu. Okay, so college websites, that's the number one option to apply to college. Most of students who attend four-year universities from Morris Jeff are using the Common Application, which can be accessed at commonapp.org. And this is most schools in the U.S. Are listed on the Common App. And the reason students use it is because you use one application for multiple schools, up to dozens of schools. I can also do an application fee waiver easily through the Common Application. So it's very intuitive. So through the Common Application, when it's time for me to submit documents, when it's time for your child to submit documents, it's very quick and easy. It's all online. So again, a lot of students use the Common Application. And if you have a fee waiver from the school, which we can provide eligible students, you do not have to pay for that. The coalition application is less common, but there are some schools that require you to use the coalition application. For example, the University of Washington in Seattle requires this application. So this is really good for art schools, and if you want to submit art portfolios or digital media, things like that. The coalition is an online application where you can apply to multiple schools, but it also gives you tools and advice as you apply to schools, and it's really good for uploading digital work, making videos, the more creative type of applications. The coalition is a really good option for that. Common Black College application is a list of 25 historically Black colleges and universities that you can apply to using one application. We have dozens of students at Morris Jeff that used the CBCA. If you really plan on just doing more than like a dozen applications to historically Black colleges or universities, I highly recommend using the CBCA. There is a $25 fee associated with that. I have application fee waivers, so does Ms. Evans, for students. If you ever need to apply for a standardized test or a college application or something else, and you need a fee waiver, reach out to us and we can help you with those fee waivers. Testing. Okay. The first thing I've listed for you are the national ACT dates. So these are the Saturday ACT dates that are offered now until the time the class of 22 graduates. The next test is June 12th. What is more important than these dates are the actual registration deadlines. So what I've done is I've calendared out and will email a week before it's time to register for these ACTs, a week before the deadline, and I'll let you know that it's time. We are offering an in-school ACT March 8th, 2022. So in March of your senior year, we will have an ACT at the school. This is pretty late into the year, so we want to make sure that students are taking the ACT as many times as possible before March 8th. That is why I have fee waivers available, and we'll have them available over the summer. So if you email me at any time, I can help you with a fee waiver. For those of you that are more familiar with the SAT, SAT is absolutely an option as a college placement test if you want to go that route. SAT subject tests no longer exist, so the SAT is very different, the scoring is different, and the tests themselves are different. Like I mentioned earlier, a lot of colleges and universities are now offering test optional applications, and that is when you apply to college with a GPA and other things like writing samples, resume, etc., and without a standardized test score. We have students going to school, wonderful schools all over the world who are going without a standardized test score from Morris Jeff. Superscore is when a college uses the highest subscores from each time you take the ACT to create a new subscore. For example, if you take the ACT 3 times and you have an 18 in English only one time, and the other times in English you have a 16 or a 17, your super score is an 18 for English because that's the highest subscore in a set of multiple scores. Sending scores to colleges and universities is very simple. You email me, Mr. Lovelady, and just let me know where they need to be sent. You can also send them yourself if you want to send them through your ACT student account. You can send scores that way as well. Whenever you register to take the ACT, you can actually list several schools when you sit down to take the ACT, and those schools will get your test. I highly recommend being very cautious about sending your ACT scores immediately to schools when you take the ACT, because you do not know what your score will be. So if you want to just take the test, the ACT, without sending it to schools, and then come in later and send it off to schools, that would probably give you an advantage, because then you would know what score you're actually sending off to schools. Financial aid. So there are primarily 2 types of financial aid. The first is merit-based. This is based on your academic performance and your merit, your grade point average, your standardized test score, the quality of your essay, the quality of your recommendation letters, your theater performances over time, your athletic performance, the fact that you applied for a scholarship for left-handed people. Maybe you started a vegetarian club, so you got a scholarship for being a vegetarian. Those are all merit-based scholarships. Need-based aid is all based on your financial need, which is primarily determined through the FAFSA, which I mentioned earlier, the free application for federal student aid. Sorry, I'm stumbling over my own words. Need-based aid can come in grants, it can come in loans, it can come in scholarship. Need-based aid is sometimes available for undocumented students, sometimes it is not. Colleges that meet full need is a list of about 100 colleges in the United States, and they meet the full financial need that you have. And while there's a really complicated algorithm, what that really means is that if a college offers you money and they don't offer you enough, these colleges that meet full need are a list of colleges that do not ask you and your family to pay out of pocket. They meet the full financial need that you would have to attend that institution. Excuse me, I'm sipping some water. The FAFSA is something that all of you will have to do to graduate from high school in Louisiana. More importantly, it's something you do to get federal aid for college, to help you pay for college. This is potentially money you do not have to pay back. So this is very important for you and your financing your education. The FAFSA opens October 1st. It used to open January 1st. Now it opens earlier for families in October. The priority deadline for most schools is February 15th, meaning that you have October, November, December, and January to finish the FAFSA. It can take between 30 minutes and a few hours, depending on how prepared you are. If you have your tax forms from 2020 and either your W-2 or your 1090, it should not take more than 20 or 30 minutes to complete the FAFSA. Again, it is a graduation requirement. Many of you, if you apply to college outside of Louisiana, you will be asked to complete something called a CSS profile. And the CSS profile is similar to the FAFSA. It's a way for a college or university to assess your family's assets. They're looking to see how much money you have, and then they're going to determine their financial aid package for you based on how much money your family makes. And again, as we get closer to October 1, I will have more resources on the FAFSA. Scholarships, scholarships, scholarships. Scholarships, there is really no short or quick answer. I surely and certainly cannot answer the scholarship question in one PowerPoint slide. The scholarships I've listed at the top are the most competitive scholarships in the country. Posse, Questbridge, Bonner, Jack Kent Koch, Ron Brown. A lot of these scholarships have academic and economic, meaning income requirements. So a lot of these scholarships are looking for academically talented and financially needy students, which we have many at Morris Jeff. Our school has already made the 10 nominations for Posse for next year, and this process is done through a faculty vote for teachers who have taught our 11th grade students. Questbridge is an application that students are welcome to do. We will have to work very closely with me and a few of your teachers to do the extensive Questbridge application. Questbridge, Bonner, Jack Kent Koch, and Ron Brown are all scholarships that meet either full tuition or full need, meaning it might cover your tuition and your room and board, or it might just cover your tuition. I've also listed about a dozen other scholarship sources down here below. I email scholarships to seniors every Friday during your senior year. Some seniors take advantage of those scholarships. Some wait until April or May, and then it's too late to apply for many of them. So my recommendation for many students is if you apply for scholarships if you do like a scholarship a week or a couple of scholarships a week, that will be dozens of scholarship applications by the time you graduate. I just saw a question about national merit, and we do participate in national merit through the PSAT, and national merit will notify the student and the school if the student qualifies for any national merit scholarships. And if you need help getting your PSAT scores, I'm happy to help you, but you just do it simply through the student's College Board account. TOPS, this is our statewide financial scholarship offering for students who qualify in Louisiana. These are the current qualifications for TOPS. TOPS Tech, Opportunity, Performance, and Honors. Honors is the highest merit scholarship. Tech is the lowest, and Tech can be used at different CTE programs in 2- and 4-year colleges in Louisiana. The GPA and ACT requirements are going to change. They're going to increase slightly this coming year once they are published from the state. I will make sure that seniors and their families have those. The March 22 ACT is really the last ACT that you want to take as a senior if you want to get TOPS, because it takes time to get your scores back and it takes time to get TOPS processed. During your senior year, if me or any of your counselors at Morris Jeff ask for your social security number, that is required to process your TOPS. So Morris Jeff does not require the social security number. Rather, the state of Louisiana requires a social security number in order to process your TOPS for financial aid. So just want to go ahead and mention that in case you get a question next year about a social security number. This is a list of college acceptances from our seniors. Our first graduating class from Morris Jeff has really paved an incredible path for you all. I'm so excited for you all to really follow in the footsteps through all the hard work you can do through your college applications. And again, this list is published in the Pelican Press, which comes out every Friday. For those of you who are still working on your summer plans, which I hope many of you are, this is a list of a few different kind of ways to approach what you want to do this summer. I tried to list a few local options, a few other things. Certainly, if you have been called for summer school, that should be a priority for you. I actually have a list of pre-college programs that I'll share on the next slide. And a pre-college program is when you spend a little bit of time on a college campus during the summer, virtually or physically in person. And you learn about the school and you learn from their faculty, and it's a way to just expose yourself to their college campus. You could also get a job. Jobs are super valuable in the college application process. People often forget that. So work opportunities are very valuable. And later on in the presentation, I'm going to let you know how to get a work permit if you're interested in getting a work permit. This is a list of pre-college programs around the country. So these are all different programs at universities during the summer for rising high school seniors. When we send this out tomorrow, you can actually click each of these and this will take you directly to the program's website, on the college website. Some of the programs are for specific academic interest. Some programs help you earn college credit, some do not. There's just a real array of different programs for students to choose from. A diversity fly-in program is something that a college or university offers high school seniors, and they happen in the fall of your senior year, and they are 2 to 3 day events, and they are free. You get flown to these colleges. Most of them are small private colleges in the West Coast and the Northeast. You get to meet their faculty. They are often looking for high school seniors who are students of color from low-income backgrounds, and basically these fly-in programs are their way of saying, hi, come to our campus, apply to our school, and we just want to let you know that we want you as a student and we value you as a student. So the fly-in program is a free opportunity for you to go and meet this college and see if it's a good fit for you. I have a list of these programs. Some of these you can apply for yourself. Some of them you have to be nominated through the school. And I know Ms. Mack is with us, so I'm going to put my phone on mute and let her share with everyone for a little while.
Hi, I'm going to turn my camera on real quick. So for families who can, let me just say hello. Hello, hello, welcome, welcome. So I'm here just to talk a little bit about the IB diploma program and answer any questions you all may have as now we start getting close to this final senior year. So students who are taking IB classes, they will sit their IB exams sometime between May the 3rd and May 18th. And so they, even though they'll finish their classes, the IB exams will continue to go on. And these dates are not set locally, they're set internationally. So all students across the globe are sitting these same exams at the same time. Students will get the information regarding which dates are the exams, and then families, you all will also be able to know when those exams are going to be carried out. IB results then are released in July the 6th is the date that it's released. And what we'll do, I'll work closely, Mr. Lovely and I work very closely with our seniors, especially students in DP classes. I will collect where they're going from Mr. Lovelady, and then I'll make sure that IB releases scores directly to them, because when students score high enough on their IB exams, just like AP classes, they can earn college credit for that university. So once they either have earned the diploma or get their certificates, those diplomas and certificates will be sent to us, Morris Jeff, in August, and then I will reach out to you all to organize a way to have you all come and collect the diplomas or the certificates. If you have any questions regarding IB, please don't hesitate to ask me. And my email is cmac@morrisjeffschool.org, and I'm here to help answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Ms. Mack. So she was right. During the senior year, you all will notice we work very, very closely with one another to make sure everyone is on track. So we recently announced at Morris Jeff that we are launching early release beginning in the fall 2021. Woo-hoo. And I wanted to give you some context into it. The reason we're starting an early release program is because it helps in the development of time management, personal responsibility, and self-care for many of our seniors. This is an earned privilege with specific requirements from our school. You must complete and submit the early release option application to Ms. Evans, our academic counselor. You must be in good standing in the area of attendance. If you have questions about attendance, Ms. Evans can help you. Ms. Van Gilder can also help you. All required school forms must be completed and on file in Ms. Evans' office. You need one of the three to qualify: a grade point average of 3.0 or higher, an ACT score of 18 or higher, or proof of employment. You need one of those three things. You must not have any deficiencies in credits for graduation purposes. Remember, this is an earned privilege from our school, and Miss Evans is the contact for early release. There's our school number, and there is her email if you would like to inquire or get an application for early release, which will begin in August. If you are on the call, or if you know someone in your class who is interested or has dreams about doing athletics in college, the conversation has to start early rather than late. A lot of students are really starting these conversations in the 8th, 9th, and 10th grades, but we are happy to help you with your eligibility application if you want to go through NCAA. If you're interested in Division I or Division II, which have athletic scholarships, Mr. Milton and I can help walk you through that process. If you're interested in Division III, there's a much different process, which we're also happy to help you with. Social media is kind of a hot topic right now among high school athletes because colleges and universities are searching social media to get to know students. So that should just really be on everyone's radar, whether you're interested in college sports or not. But what you put out there, colleges and universities are gaining access to. The Pelican Press is one of my favorite publications at Morris Jeff. It comes out every Friday afternoon. It's a great way to get updates for both students and parents. It's in English and Spanish. It is where we list our virtual college and career visits, which hopefully will just be regular college and career visits when colleges come and sit in our counseling suite and students ask admission officers questions. So hopefully that will not be virtual next year. We always put updates on senior events in the Pelican Press, as well as changes to our calendar. You know, flexibility. I think we learned a lot about flexibility this past school year, and dates could change next year. So the Pelican Press, when it gets emailed out, that is the best way to get updates from the school. I'm going to check your chat. Let's see. If a student is employed, how often throughout the quarter academic year is a student required to show proof of employment? That is a very good question. And I don't know if Ms. Evans is with us, but I'm going to make sure that she gets that question and that we answer that. That is a wonderful question. I'm sure other families will have that as well. So thank you for asking that. Great, great question. So I have put together somewhat of a to-do list for you rising seniors. And if you joined us late, we are going to share this presentation again tomorrow. So no worries if you missed something. But I think this summer is definitely time for you to start making a list of your accomplishments and activities throughout high school. And if you did something in middle school or elementary school that then kind of led to something in high school, you should feel free to list that as well. Volunteer work, service work, colleges are going to be really interested in how you spent time during the pandemic, and they're also going to be interested in how you spend your summers. When you're not in school, how are you spending your time? That's something that colleges are going to be very interested in, and they always have been. You really need to get online and use the tools that you have to search for colleges, whether it's through your SCORE account. CTCL.org is a really great website for college searches. It's the Colleges That Change Lives website, and they have their own college search database. And, most importantly, when you get an email from me this coming year, it has to do with your future. And if I get an email from you this year, I'm going to know that it has to do with your future. So we really have to be diligent with our emails to and from one another. And I'm happy to email you a short list of colleges to research. If you want to email me a little bit about yourself, I'm very happy to do that. Virtual or in-person college visits, whether they're in-person or virtual, I will make sure that everyone in the senior class knows, and we usually host them on Tuesday and Thursday afternoons, and that is when we have a phone call with a specific college or university and allow students to ask questions and learn more about that school. Another thing that you should all be doing this summer is checking your ACT scores. Try and do that and make sure, if you don't know where they are now, me and Ms. Evans can help you find them. I can tell you how to access them online. So let's just make sure that we know kind of where we are in terms of our ACT score. And again, some colleges are going to require it, some will not. But right now in Louisiana, TOPS does require an ACT score. So if you're even thinking possibly that you want to go to school in Louisiana, your ACT score should be of importance to you. I recommend starting with 2 teachers and asking them for recommendation. These should be teachers who taught you, in core academic courses in which you had either growth over time or where you had very positive experiences. These letters that teachers write can sometimes be the most important pieces of an application because this person is speaking to how you are as a student.
Mr. Lovelady, can I just chime in real quick?
Yes, yes.
So when students, when it's time for your student to ask for a letter of recommendation, as a teacher, it's sort of following what are the most respectful protocols. And it would not be just to shoot an email and ask for a letter the very next day. I mean, we will be back in person. This is the type of thing that, with the person-to-person interaction, the student should go up to the teacher directly and ask them if they would be willing to write a letter of recommendation for them. I think sometimes the students just expect that the teacher's responses will be yes. And that's not always the case because, as Mr. Lovelady said, you want to make sure that it's someone that they feel a connection with. And teachers are just really busy. So for a teacher to write a nice solid letter on behalf of your student and our students, it's not something that you would want them to do quickly. You want them to be able to invest the time. So make sure you communicate to the students, and I know Mr. Lovelady does as well, for the students to give the teachers at least 2 to 3 weeks notice as to when the deadline will be, and to do it in person.
Absolutely. I think the key word you used is respect, and the most respectful thing to do for someone who is writing a very important letter on your behalf that could get you money, that could get you a college degree, that's a significant letter. You want to give them at least 2 weeks. And this year, when we had students ask at the last minute, we reserved our right to not write that letter at the last minute. So if you wait until, one of the emails I got this year, I got an email at 8 p.m. for a letter that was due at midnight, and that student missed that deadline and did not receive a letter from me because they waited to the last minute. So I completely, want to advocate on behalf of our teachers. They want to write these letters. They just also want to have plenty of time in advance to write these letters on your behalf. All right? Checking your email daily is going to have to become a part of your life as an adult, as well as a Morris Jeff Senior. Again, you're going to see emails from me, Ms. Evans, Ms. Mack, your administrators, pretty often this coming year, and you're going to have more responsibilities than you've had in the past. So just make sure that you're monitoring your Morris Jeff email as diligently as possible. This summer, you should also do a practice ASVAB. The school can coordinate it. We can put you in touch with a recruiter and they can help you with it. But the ASVAB is a test that you need to take to get into the military. And we've had a lot of students have a lot of success on the ASVAB over the past year. So, we do recommend it. It's a great way of seeing if the military would potentially be a good option for you. Those of you who need work permits either now or will need them in the fall, our school does not give out work permits directly to students, so you need to go through Job One on Tulane Avenue, and then in conjunction with Job One, we will work on getting you a work permit. So those are kind of several things. Again, we're going to send this presentation out, but if every senior did most of these things, I think we would be in really good shape starting August 1 to start those college applications. So this is my face if you haven't seen me. I will be out for several weeks this summer, but I will have my email with me throughout the entire summer, so please don't hesitate to email me. This is my direct line, so this is the school's number with my extension 305. Come straight to my desk, and I really want us to connect. I think the sooner we connect, the better we can work together to get your senior to and through their senior year. And now we heard some great questions already, but I do want to give families an opportunity to ask any questions that I hope I can answer.
Hey, good afternoon. Good evening, Mr. Lovelady. This is Robert Mitchell, Emmanuel's father. The question I have is mostly about the ACT prep in regards to how aggressive, or assertive the school is in making sure that the students are taking the ACT. For example, I heard that you said you sent out a reminder a week before the deadline to apply for the test. Do you guys do other aggressive reminders prior to the one you mentioned in your meeting?
Great question. Because like I said, we really want them to test as many times as possible. So in addition to the emails I send, right now we don't have a system in place for more reminders or to make it easier for them to get signed up. But what I really think is that since we'll have the potential to have more in-person engagement in the fall, we can kind of I can maybe step into some classes in the fall to make sure students are registering. But we right now don't have an aggressive kind of approach to the test prep other than really just kind of looking at our curriculum and looking at other state requirements and seeing what's aligned with the ACT and what we can focus on there. But right now we don't have anything in place that's aggressive for ACT prep.
Thank you very much.
What other questions do y'all have? These are all good questions. I don't think that's a silly question at all. So as a school, one thing you'll learn about me is I'm completely transparent. So the City Park graduation was so special in just a lot of different ways. For our school, it was special, and for our students. Next year, kind of one big issue is we're thinking about the capacity. So if there are around 100 students this year and there were 60, if there were 60 this year and there are 100 next year, we would not all fit in the peristyle. So we are really thinking about other outdoor spaces. We're thinking about the more typical in the city, like the UNO Arena, the Xavier Convocation Center. We are really thinking about all aspects. We've also thought about the idea of doing maybe a smaller event at the peristyle and then the graduation indoors somewhere. So we are really thinking about all the different ideas. But yes, our first graduation at the peristyle was one for the books. It was really quite beautiful. Great question. So for homecoming, I know that we're relaunching student council in the fall. I can't say on record if we're having homecoming, but I expect us to have homecoming in the fall. And then for prom, what we did, instead of canceling the venue we had this year for this spring, we just moved it a year later. So the prom venue is called the Fillmore, and it's on Canal Street, and it's right beside the back entrance to Harrah's Casino. So it's a really fabulous venue. And again, instead of canceling the venue this year because of COVID, we just moved it a year later. So that will be our prom venue. Great question. I'll give everyone a couple more minutes, and then obviously, you know, any other questions you have, you know, we will get in the habit of emailing and calling each other, probably starting tonight and tomorrow. Hey, Nyla. So the ring ceremony, and let me go back earlier. I think it's August 20th, but it is in August. We decided to wait and do it in August because we'll have more flexibility with our facilities and capacity, because COVID will have moved on a little bit. So these are the important dates for next year. You'll see ring ceremony by August 20th, Nyla. So we don't know yet where the ring ceremony will be held. Last year we had a beautiful ceremony in our school gym. The original plan was to do it on the green by our high school, which is exactly, you know, kind of the original vision we had would be an outdoor ring ceremony. So we are still deciding that. And if you are interested in helping plan any of these events, please, please, please send me an email and I will add you to our steering committees. Let's see. So yes, Miss McFarland, we recommend go ahead and starting to get your rings now, and you can go through Jostens, Jostens, or you can just get the rings anywhere you want. And what we do is we bring extra boxes to the ceremony, so you can really just have to get your ring wherever you want. And we had students last year that did bracelets and necklaces, and that's acceptable also. Yep. So Miss McFarland, send me an email. Miss Jefferson, send me an email, and I will add y'all to the steering committees. It looks like we have our first steering committee for next year. Well, I am so excited to work with y'all next year. Again, I'm Mr. Lovelady. I'm the college counselor and the senior advisor, so we will see plenty, plenty, plenty of each other next year. Let's see. Yes, you can get your rings from anywhere. And of course, Miss Jefferson, the good thing about our new school is that we can start new traditions and we can help define what our traditions are moving forward. So we'd love for you to help with that, Miss Jefferson. And Miss Pittman, thank you. When do we get info about LEAP testing? Great question, Faith. And I know that the school is making phone calls today and tomorrow about this summer in regards to LEAP testing, but I do not have any other specific information about LEAP testing. This meeting was more just for our senior events, but that's a great question. All right, everyone, I'm going to let everyone go and give you a few minutes back this evening. But again, I look forward to working with everyone, and y'all have a great night.
Good night. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Miss Matt.